Hi everybody, we are going to do some English, and today we are going to be looking at using a variety of sentence structures for effect. But first, what I want you to do, can you think about any different types of sentences? So we've covered some this week. Which types of sentences can you identify? So hopefully, maybe that's why. There you go. Hopefully you remembered our simple sentences, our compound sentences, and our complex sentences. Can you remember the differences between them? We've got simple sentences. Here's an example. The boy is eating cake. Remember, this contains one complete idea and only one verb. And it makes sense on its own. This is a simple sentence. And think about when we use that. We use that for adding dramatic effect or to increase the pace of the reader. And we would do that in order to sort of give a sense of being in the action. Compound sentences. The sun was shining, but it was very cold. Remember here, we've got two main clauses. We've got the sun was shining, it was very cold, and then we've got our coordinating conjunction. Remember our boys. Remember our most common ones are and, but, or, sometimes so. Can anybody remember what was special about so? We can use so in so many different ways. We can use it as an expression. We can use it as an interjection. We can use it as a coordinating conjunction and a subordinating conjunction. It's a very versatile word. So yeah, that's our compound. Complex. The girl wore a scarf because, remember, we've got our main clause, our one verb, and we've got subordinating or subordinate clause and our subordinating conjunction. And in here we have a complex sentence, but in this case we call it an embedded clause because it's a clause that's been it's still a subordinate clause, but it's a subordinate clause that's been embedded within our sentence, not at the end, not at the beginning. Like here it's at the end. You put it at the front, we might say that they're fronted, but here we've got a subordinate clause in the middle and we call it embedded. Now we've looked at all the punctuation clues for all of these, and we're going to get a chance to practice with them. So just quickly refresh yourself. What is a simple sentence for, and what a compound or complex sentence is used for? So simple sentences are used to increase the pace and create tension. I think of a simple sentence is like a heartbeat. If you want your heart to speed up, so it might be like a boost of adrenaline, it might be excitement, it might be fear. When you're talking about those sorts of emotions or feelings, we think our heart's beating up, therefore our sentences are going to mimic that and become short and quick. Whereas in a compound sentence, they're great for descriptions and slower parts of the story. It's brilliant. Compound and complex sentences are brilliant for adding extra information in and really adding quite like a poetic flow to our writing. So let's have a look at this. Here we've got a picture. Let's have a look. Let's just think of some sentences and things that we might put in. So the way we might structure it, we might do a paragraph about the near ground. We might do a paragraph about we might do a paragraph about the character. We might have a paragraph about the background. Now, that's how I might structure it. You might structure it slightly different. You might structure all the things you can see, all the things you can hear when we're writing a description. So you might want to have a go. You might want to pause the video. I have an example and we have another activity, but you may, because it's quite a good picture, want to give it a go. Give a go writing. So here's my example. Towering above the hills, the knight waited for the battle to commence. As he thought about what was to come, he surveyed his surroundings. Trees as old as time stood still and waited in the calm of the verdant scene. The soft clouds which were illuminated by the lights of the sun, watched the ground below. Then it came. An army stormed towards him. Huge armoured beasts tore a path in the land. The knight knew he had to draw them towards his army and wait. On his horse, he started racing through the forest. His heart raced, his palms sweated. He was filled with terror. Branches scratched his face, but he hardly noticed. His mind was set. His role was clear. So you can see we've got some description, and that's quite drawn out, and we're using some nice complex and compound sentences. Yet, when we're trying to show strong emotions, then it came. It's like fear almost. And at the bottom it's like his determination. We're using short, punchy sentences. So what I want you to do is I want you to go through this and colour code it. Can you, for example, you might want to do blue, underline all the simple sentences in blue. So for example, like I've done there, you might want to underline all the compound sentences in orange, and then all of the complex sentences in red. You can use any combination of colours. Pause the video, underline them, so your every sentence should have a colour underneath it. Okay, I'm going to go through the answers. Have a look. So, we've got lots of different colours. We've got lots of complex sentences. We've got some compound sentences here as well. And then we've got lots of short, simple sentences. And it all builds. You'll notice this is more to do with description. So there was more compound and complex, whereas this was more to do with the action and building emotion. And here we're using shorter, simple sentences. So you've seen an example there. Now feel free, when you come to your task, feel free to use the model text to help you. Does that relate to this? Now, I've given you this picture. If you think actually this picture is a bit difficult, feel free to use the previous picture, but just please let me know. You don't have to message me. I mean, when you do your writing, give it a title or something, or just tell me I did the first picture or the second picture. We'll do this one as the second picture, and the other one as the first. So, as normal, I've got a writing frame for those of you who think they might need a bit of help and are just choosing different conjunctions and clauses and things. In our two chilies, what I want you to do is to write a paragraph and underline the clauses in different colours, a bit like we did in our example. And for our three chili, I want you to try and use some alliteration and personification in there. So give it a go. Take care in it. I mean, it's a Friday. You've practiced all of these skills. This is your opportunity to show off. Yeah, show off everything that you know. Want some beautifully worded sentences. Please make sure you proofread it to spot for any simple errors. This is like a polished piece now. We've done lots of small activities. It doesn't have to be masses of work, but you know the expectation. If you want to write out the writing frame, and then you might want to add another paragraph to it if you become comfortable, that's absolutely fine as well. But put a lot of work into it, a lot of effort and a lot of polish, because I have started to notice that we're producing lovely pieces of work, and we've got lovely embedded clauses in there, and we're punctuating that lovely, so the bit that we're focusing on, but we're forgetting our basics, so we're forgetting our full stops and our capital letters. So try and make this as your show off piece. So have fun, and I really